Hello folks! Yay! Well, Christmas is done and dusted. Boxing Day, done and dusted. It's now, as I'm recording this, about 8:30 Thursday morning. I believe the date is 28th? I don't know. Anyway, just thought I'd give you a bit of a catch up. Nothing major's been done. But now I've got a couple of days to myself, and I just thought I'd give you all a catch up, and I need to start to get organised on a few things. I've got to do some DIY at home. I hate DIY. I prefer YDI, you do it. But I've bought myself a new oak chest of drawers, etc. for my room here at Mum's, basically, because I've got clothes everywhere. I'm a man that basically, and I'm sure a lot of men are like this but don't want to admit it, is that apart from underwear, I think if a man could get away with just wearing like 3 items for the rest of his life, he'd be, perfectly happy. Anyway, little catch up. Hope you all had a very good Christmas. Yeah, we had a very good one. We had, shall I put a little picture up? Yeah, why not? You all know about him anyway. We had Bracken the dog over, along with my sister and brother-in-law, and Uncle Barnyard and his family. That was nice. We had a really good Christmas dinner, and we always have a quiz afterwards, so we had a good quiz. And by the time the quiz is over, me and Uncle Barnyard and my brother-in-law are quite often squiffy. Yes. The bottles of alcohol went completely missing. But that's what it's about, and it's the only time of year I really do drink, because obviously I drive and I ride for a living, and I don't risk it. Just do not risk it. It's not worth it. Anyway, hope you all had a good one. So we will get on with the catch up. Yes. I'm also got to get a bit organised. You can probably see boxes behind me. That is bodywork for the Aprilia, who, when he's ready to go on the road, I might rename Pegasus, because Pegaso means Pegasus, and they were also badged as Mythos as well, which of course you know is the Roman version and the Greek version, and or whichever way around it is. And I quite like the name Pegasus. I think it suits. But anyway, that's Aprilia bodywork. We've just won on eBay a pair of side panels for it. That is one side panel. We've just won a pair for 20 quid because we were the only bidders. They look in good condition. The only thing that will concern me, obviously mounting lugs and stuff, but the only thing that concerns me is one side apparently requires a heat shield, just like a stick-on heat shield in the panel. I'll make sure that's in good condition. If not, we'll get some heat reflective material. I do have the tape, but they're generally foam backed. Hand gestures, foam backed. And we need to make sure that's all right, because they do have a habit of like melting the rear end a little bit, the exhausts. They can even do the under trays and stuff like that. So we'll see. There is slight evidence of some meltage on the bike, but overall, I mean, morning flatulence. Overall, I've gone over the bike, and I'd say, apart from like wrong fasteners in some places, the actual majority of it is pretty much bob on. It's not bad. It really isn't bad. And the mileage, which we worked out, was about 23,000. That's genuine mileage from the MOTs. The Sprag clutches are known to go around then. Sprag clutch bearing is due any day, because obviously we've had the delay on postage over Crimblymus. But what has come is this little box here and this little bit here. What else have we got? Oh yeah, we've got a tailpiece down there as well. But I don't think the Cube, which is what the model name is, had the tailpiece. On some of them there's a tailpiece that goes under the little rack at the back, and I wasn't sure whether we needed it or not. I saw one super cheap, so got it basically. Another thing I'm going to do is start collecting the old and filing, because I do this with every vehicle because I'm fat, is start collecting and filing all the receipts we've got so far for both the VFR and the Aprilia, and then we can keep tabs on what we've spent, and we can do what it costs at the end. Anyway, what's come in is headlight wiring loom. I couldn't find any in the UK, so this came from Germany, and I've had parts from Germany before. I did have the name of the breaker. It is a breaker somewhere. I'll put a little thing just here, look. That's where they came from. They've got loads and loads of parts. Aprilia Picasso parts do not appear to be in short supply in Germany. You've got to be careful here. I don't suppose it was such a popular bike here. But I couldn't find a headlight loom anywhere, not the one that was specific to that bike, and sure enough got one in Germany. And one thing I've noticed about German spare parts, breaker parts, they tend to be in an awful lot better condition. I've been looking at a set of rear foot peg holders, etc. All the ones I've seen in this country look like they've been on a field bike, a kid's field bike, but the ones in Germany, they're all lovely. The alloy is still nice. There's 3 or 4 different styles, I think. There's definitely 2 styles, and I'm guessing they all fit, but if I'm going to fit any, I want them to be correct, and the only good ones I could find, again, Germany. Strangely enough, same breaker, but as you can see, that it is in excellent order. Seriously clean, seriously clean. That could have come out of a brand new box. Other thing that's come, this little box of goodness. Let's see if you can guess. It's like Christmas again. Oh, and this will give it away. Hang on, what's this say? There is another box, by the way. It's upper and lower bushes, basically. Hey, they're having a laugh here, look. These fork bushes must be fitted by a trained motorcycle mechanic in accordance with the original equipment manufacturer's specifications. Once fitted, they must be checked to be working in accordance with the original equipment manufacturer's specifications. Well, I suppose they have to put that on the box. What we've got? I've not opened these yet because they only came yesterday, and I was busy yesterday. Ooh. Oh yeah. Upper bushings, you can see that they're coated. You could probably see as I rotated that it's like coated brass or whatever it is, copper brass, I don't know. And you know that they're worn when you take the fork apart, because you can see the copper, basically. You can see it worn through. That is when they're worn. And that's when you start to get movement in the fork, which will not help, won't help the fork seals any, because you get, if that's the stanchion, hi, I'm stanchion, and that's the fork leg, hi, I'm fortune, stop it. And you get stanchion there, the bushes are designed to stop it doing that. And it doesn't move a lot, but when it does that, you're pulling the tube away from the seal and you start to get leaks. Once it does it enough, it deforms the seal, you know, and it leaks. So we have fork seals and bushes, and there's a bottle of oil in there as well, for the VFR, Project Charlie. So yes, when the weather improves slightly, or I can actually get in the shed. Oh, they're sexy. Yeah, they're nice. We can crack on with getting the front end done on Charlie. I've got to refurb another caliper, front caliper. The back one is done. Quite happy with that. And then that can be put back into rolling chassis mode, and then really all I've got to worry about on that is just sorting the bodywork out a little bit, just make sure it's secure. The back lights have a habit of sort of collapsing in a bit on these. They all do it. It's an easy enough fix. We'll get that done, and then we'll just make sure everything works as it should, and then can worry about fixing the bodywork and the fairing stay a little bit later. Let's just get the running gear good first, make sure then everything electrical works. It should. There's no reason why it shouldn't really. We know the bike starts, although it's not been started since we did the start video. It's not been started since, but I've had the battery on charge. In fact, it's there. So it's all fully charged, ready to go back on. But while the weather's been cold, I've bought the batteries inside, just to give them a chance. So let's put the box of goodness away. You probably see behind me, that was the Michelin sign I bought the other day down at the depot at Weedon, because there's, as well as Industry and Supply, there's a couple of like antique places and stuff like that. And I went to one the other day as well, a Whitmore's, just near Nuneaton. They're like antique barns and a little tea room, and I ended up, what did I end up buying there? A couple of things. I went with Mark because he'd never been. What did I buy? I bought a couple of things, and I've always wanted one of these for the Rover, like an old vintage. It's the wrong vintage badge for the car, I know. Even the later little square ones are still too old for that, but I love the old AA badges. I love them. Each one was unique because it had the member number stamped on the bottom, so that was your member number. So, you know, in the days before mobile phones and all this, like, you would have AA boxes at the side of the road, and some of them were very elaborate, like telephone boxes, and in black and yellow with the AA crest on the top, and each member got a key. And I can remember up until a few years ago, you still used to get a key for the boxes, and you could ring up the AA directly, Wilmington 444, and they would send you a patrol out, which in those days was quite often a motorbike and sidecar, and then they would get your member number off the front. But I intend to just polish that up a little bit, re-enamel the yellow. By re-enamel I mean I'm going to use an enamel paint, and stick it on the Rover, because I think it'd suit it. I think it'd look quite good. What else we got? That's about it really. Oh yeah, in January, towards the end of January, I'm going to be having dental surgery, because it's long overdue. I've spent sort of years and years and years buying motorcycle parts and silly shit like that, when I should have really looked after myself. But I am petrified of dentists. That's about the only thing in the world I'm scared of is dentists. Funnily enough, when I'm there, I'm absolutely fine. But it's the thought of getting there. And a visit to the dentist the day after Boxing Day, when you've ate all that Christmas food, my word, I soon cleared myself out. It's a shame, and I've said this before, that our nervous system is linked to our bowels, but there you go. Anyway, I went yesterday, had the consultation done, and basically the work that I've got to have done actually cost more than what we got the Aprilia for and all the parts so far, but it's going to be worth it, because then I shall have a beautiful smile and I can be a top crumpeteer. Fantastic. So yes, if I don't do any videos at the end of sort of January, you know why. It's because I ain't got no teeth, because I'm going to have to go without for a little while, and then I shall look like Shergar trying to eat an apple through a chicken wire fence. But it would be good. It would be well worth it. It's an investment in myself, and if you can't invest in yourself, don't expect anybody else to, basically. So that's where we're at. We have rebuilt the rear caliper. We've rebuilt one of the front calipers on the VFR. So yeah, that's about where we're at. Once we're waiting for the bearing on the Aprilia, we can literally put that back in, get it warmed up, and I'll show you the oil change process, because it's quite interesting in that. To check the oil on the Aprilia, it's dry sump, so you have to basically have the bike upright, or you need to check it upright. Is warm the bike up, or at least run it for a couple of minutes, and then turn it off, and then you can check the oil level on the dipstick. But the oil drain process is quite interesting, because it's oil in frame, and it's the first bike I've had that's been oil in frame. So you have your normal sump plug underneath. Get underneath, lad. So you've got that. You've got the oil filter, tiny little oil filter at the side in the cover, which needs to be changed. And then there's also a drain bolt for the oil tank. It's actually in the frame, and in one of the frame spars that comes down the front, you've got a drain plug there, and very conveniently the exhaust is right underneath it, so you do get oil pissing all over the exhaust. There's no way to avoid it. I suppose you could probably make a little extension for it if you were desperate. Probably use an airline fitting or something like that to just bring it out over the exhaust for future changes, but it will piss all over the exhaust and down the front and everywhere. It's brilliant design. And then there's also an oil strainer on the Aprilias in the bottom of the tank, so while the fuel tank's off is a good way to get at it. And it's just a strainer, basically a little wire gauze strainer. I don't even know whether that one has it, but some of the European ones, the Italian ones did. So it'll be an interesting process. It'll be a learning process, because I've never done it. And then that's where we are, basically. I think a few of us test riders from work are out for a little run tomorrow down to the Longitch Diner, and obviously if I can make it, I'm going. I don't know, I might film a little bit of that, I might not, we'll see. But that's what we're going to be getting on with. As soon as I can sort of start throwing bikes outside and get around the VFR and stuff like that, progress will be made, basically. But yeah, we're just the main thing for me at the minute is getting the Aprilia weather tight, basically, because that's probably going to live outside for a bit. So obviously I need the side covers on the tank and all that lot on. But I'm well happy with the headlight loom, really happy with that. The only thing I'm going to do as well is that some of the fittings and fixtures on it are tragic. Somebody's just put literally screws that fit. Don't give a shit about aesthetics. Now, you know I don't care about cosmetics, but I've got some nice M5s and stuff like that to go around the bodywork, because at least externally it's quite a tidy bike. It's going to have different coloured body panels on it, but externally it's quite tidy, and all the spokes and stuff are in very good condition. I think they're stainless, but they're all nice and shiny. I think it was once quite a well looked after machine. But you've got to remember, I mean, it's 1999, so it's the second youngest bike that we've got here, because the youngest will be Phyllis. She's 2009. The Aprilia is 1999, and it's for its age, it's not in bad nick really. But obviously I can understand why somebody's parted it up with a sprag clutch. If you went into Aprilia to have that changed, the parts that they would put on would instantly, before you click your fingers, would be 500 quid. That's just for that one part, the sprag clutch, because they'll replace the gear behind it and they'll replace the housing as well. It all comes as one, and that would be enough probably for somebody to economically just park it. I can understand it totally, but hopefully, fingers crossed. I mean, if those sprags only last 20,000 miles, you know, we should get probably a year or two out of it, because I'm planning on doing some miles on that, because it's a comfortable bike. I went out on the ZX the other day when we went down to Weedon, and I've just got a bit of wrist ache on it. If you don't ride it for a while, it's uncomfortable. It's a fun bike, but it's uncomfortable. So I don't know, when the Aprilia's up and running, I might sell Nibbler. I don't know yet. I've been on about it for a while, but I don't know. So anyway, that's your catch up. I've got my morning brew, which I haven't even touched yet, and well, we'll see you when we see you. The problem, unless the sprag clutch comes in and stuff, there probably won't be anything filmed over the new year. We've got the doggy again. We're dog sitting, which don't mind, because he'll do exactly what I do, sleep. But if I don't see you before, have a good new year, and don't make any bullshit New Year's resolutions that you know you're not going to keep. Yes, so that'll be it. Ta-da. Okay, Jim, top button, come on.